You can kind of see that it is raining in this area, so a big alert for those of you on I-20. This is not blocking all lanes, but 2 lanes, and we'll keep you up to date on this and have more weather and traffic coming up very soon.
Rodney, thanks very much. CBS 46, of course, is in storm mode this morning. You can see from the radar there is heavy rain that is moving across the metro area. Fred is here, Jennifer's here. Rodney will be back in just a minute to let you know exactly the timing of this rain and what it will do for you.
There is an easy way to make sure you are prepared for this severe weather. It's with our free CBS 46 weather alerts. All you have to do is download the CBS 46 News app. Make sure your weather notifications are on. Team coverage continues in 3 minutes.
This is CBS 46 News at 6:30. Getting results.
Good morning. It is Thursday, February 6th. I'm Gurveer Dinsa.
And I'm Karen Greer. You are looking at pinpoint radar right now. Severe weather moving into our area.
We have team coverage this morning. We're going to begin with Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez. Look at this. The color behind you, Jan.
And it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And the problem is the storm system that's producing all of this is super slow. It's still just now entering northwestern Georgia, and it's going to take hours and hours and hours to move through North Georgia. So flooding, a huge concern. But even beyond the flooding, we've seen severe storms all morning, even a tornado warning in Cleburne County, Alabama this morning. So it's been a very active morning, and it is just the beginning. I do have some good news for North Georgia. The storms have been very electrical all morning, but things are weakening, at least across North Georgia. We're not seeing the amount of lightning that we had earlier this morning, about an hour or two ago. So still seeing some heavy rain, but at least we're not seeing the electricity and the thunder and the lightning, at least across North Georgia. As we head into northeast Georgia and Habersham County, Rabun County, flash flood warning in place there. more than 2 inches of rain has already fallen. So we're already seeing problems with creeks and streams. Where we are seeing a lot of lightning is just south and east of the metro. This is extending from southern Gwinnett County down into DeKalb County. And then as we head south into South Fulton County, into northern Henry County, very heavy rain there. Lots of lightning, strong gusty winds, not severe, but certainly seeing some gusty winds over that storm. Then as we head into Cobb County, very heavy rain, a line of heavy rain and storms moving through Cobb County. Then as we head into Douglas County, and then as we head into Carroll County, Haralson County, lots of lightning, strong damaging winds possible in that storm as well as it continues to move to the east. So this is just the beginning, a lot more on the way. Because of that, we do have a tornado watch in place across southwestern portions of Georgia, just southwest of the Atlanta metro. Does include Carroll County, Haralson County, Heard, down into Spalding and Meriwether County. On top of that, flooding a huge concern as well. And that rain is going to cause issues on the roads. It already has. Let's get straight to traffic. Rodney, it's one incident after another.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, Jen. A breaking traffic alert continues. First of all, this is 285 northbound at Hollowell Parkway in Fulton County. All lanes are still blocked here. So a heads up for those of you as you take the west end of town here, the 285 northbound, you will not be able to continue northbound. So I suggest taking the connector this morning northbound, and then you can hit 75 to get to where you need to go. Again, that's 285 northbound at Hollowell Parkway. In fact, CBS 46's Izmir Page is in the road tracker right now. He's headed to where this particular crash is on 285. How are things looking where you are, Izmir?
Good morning, Rodney. I'm making my way to this incident. I'm still some 3 miles away and I'm moving slowly. I've been sitting here stop and go for about the last 10 minutes. The traffic that you see moving to my far left and to my immediate right are actually people exiting. They're going 20 west and exiting at the MLK Junior Drive exit here. Everything going north, of course, is at a standstill because all lanes are being blocked here. This is a situation throughout the metro area. We've seen a number of accidents this morning. I can tell you firsthand, I've seen at least a dozen accidents, flashing lights all over the place. So please, people, take your time, drive with caution, leave a little bit earlier if you can. It's not going to be a great commute this morning. That's a quick look from the Cool Ray Road Tracker. Back to you, Rodney.
Yeah, that guy almost cut the person off in front of him, so that's another crash almost. Please be careful as you are on the roads this morning because of the rain and because of all the crashes that we are seeing. Again, that's 285 northbound as you take Hollowell Parkway. I also quickly want to remind you that if you were on I-20 westbound at Lithonia Industrial Boulevard, we have a tree that's reported down here. That's going to impact your traffic coming out of Lithonia. All lanes aren't blocked, but 2 lanes are. We're going to keep it covered and have more weather and traffic in under 10 minutes.
Boy, Rodney, you are absolutely right. Just take it easy out there, and this is why. Take a look at this. This is video that's just coming into our newsroom. This was sent over to us from the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. They are warning you to be careful out there on the roads. There is heavy rain falling, water pooling in some areas. So just slow down. If you don't have to leave just yet, try to avoid that, being out there on the roads with all those other people, because you just got to be careful.
I know the 2-hour delay is trending right now on Twitter for a lot of companies that
That's
are
right.
actually starting later this morning.
Absolutely. And we are continuing our team coverage this morning with Adam Harding.
And Adam has been traveling all up and down the interstates. He's live right now in Gordon County for us. And what do the conditions look like there? You are soaking wet, Adam.
Well, I'll tell you, though, Karen, it was worse about 30 minutes ago. Within the last half hour, we moved from Adairsville. We're just north of Adairsville now here in Gordon County. And I wanted to show you, this is what 75 looks like. To show you, traffic is moving, although thankfully not a whole lot of people out on the roadways right now. And that's a good thing because it is slick conditions. We pulled off right over here onto a rest stop just so we could get a sense of this area. Gordon County, of course, one of those areas that experienced a lot of thunder and lightning earlier this morning as this storm rolled through. It looks like the storm, at least the front end of the storm, has rolled out of Gordon County, or this part of Gordon County, and it has continued to travel north and east. And we're going to continue throughout the morning to move with that storm. But right now the rain is starting to taper off, if ever so slightly. We noticed a lot of trucks here. They pulled off, and it looks like they are deciding not to continue traveling on the highway. That's only because the highways are certainly slick as more rain has been falling throughout the morning. So We're in Gordon County right now where they had a lot of concern about potential storm damage. Right now, I've reached out to Gordon County Emergency Management to see if there are any reports of any storm damage. Of course, we'll continue throughout the day to travel with this storm, and we'll bring you live team coverage. Our coverage continues right now with my colleague, Rebecca Schramm. She's live this morning for us in Alpharetta. And Rebecca, I understand the creek that you're at right now, in just a few short hours, things could change pretty quickly.
Yeah, Adam, we just learned from the National Weather Service that Big Creek is under a flood warning. We can show you right now just how full the creek is. This is Webb Bridge Road, the bridge over Big Creek. And at last check, the stage was 6.1 feet and rising. Flood stage here is at 7 feet. And by Saturday night, it will likely rise to near 10.2 feet. That is when minor flooding expands along Big Creek from near Cumming to Alpharetta to Roswell. The good news is there are only a few homes near the floodplain surrounding Big Creek, so we aren't expecting any major flooding of private properties. Taking another live look, we are keeping our eye on the creek levels all across Metro Atlanta, and we will keep you posted as the heavy rain continues to fall all day long. Live in Alpharetta, Rebecca Schramm, CBS 46 News.
Well, thank you, Rebecca, and we're watching what's going on around the Alpharetta area as that creek rises into some heavy rain that's going to be moving into that area very quickly. Looking at the radar right now, hundreds of lightning strikes showing up throughout North Georgia. We have these streaks of torrential rain that are moving through. Adam up there in Gordon County saying, well, you know, it's gotten a little bit lighter, but you are by no means done with it up in northwest Georgia, as you are likely to see more heavy rain moving in during the morning hours. Right now, our flash flood warnings are in far northeast Georgia. So in Habersham and Rabun counties, there's a flash flood warning in effect until 11:30 this morning. Elsewhere, we have some real heavy rain, which is developing just to the east of the perimeter right now. So as you get into eastern DeKalb County and moving up into Snellville, thunderstorm moving in, and this is 1 to 2 inch per hour rainfall rates, about to get up into Stone Mountain. You can see it lifting to the north. Then as you get just west of the perimeter into Douglas County, there's another storm, and this one here in far northeast Carroll County, they are keeping a close eye on that at the Weather Service, because it looks like there's a little bit of rotation going on within that cell. So we'll be watching that one very closely. Thunderstorms plowing on through Paulding County right now, about to get into Douglas County and Cobb County as well. So it is rough out there right now this morning, and a wider view shows that there's even more action showing up as you get farther to the west. The best chance of severe weather is actually southwest of Atlanta, where a tornado watch is in effect until 1 o'clock this afternoon. And you see our severe risk for today, even though there's not too much going on far to the south of Atlanta, that's the area that could be most unstable by later on this morning. So we have several hours yet to go before this severe thunderstorm threat is over. It will end in the Atlanta area right around midday, but rain will likely continue through this afternoon. So this afternoon's commute is likely to be impacted by rain, and this morning's commute has been an absolute mess out there. Rodney Harris is here, and he has the latest on it.
Thank you so much, Fred. Our breaking traffic alert continues. I want to start with trip times. A big alert for those of you in Lithonia this morning. As you go westbound on I-20 toward Atlanta, your trip time right now almost 45 minutes, which is way longer than normal. Look at Conyers. You're looking at an hour and a half to go I-20 west into Atlanta. And the reason why is because of this tree that we still have down. This is I-20 westbound at Lithonia Industrial Boulevard. All lanes aren't blocked, but the two right-hand lanes are blocked. That's what you see in red behind that yellow icon. You can also see we've done this special for you this morning by putting the radar underneath the traffic data so you can see exactly where the heavy rain is. Not only do you have this tree down, but you are seeing heavy rain on I-20 as you come out of Lithonia. It's a big alert for those of you in DeKalb County, the east side of town. Also want to take you back to 285 this morning. This is northbound. This is at Hollowell Parkway. I'm going to pop a camera out from this location. A little bit of good news here. The lanes are not all blocked anymore. Traffic is moving, but this crash is still here. Also there is CBS 46's Izmir Payton, who's still in the Coolray Road Tracker. Have you had any progress, Izmir, over the past 10 minutes or so?
Very little, Rodney. Good morning to you. I've moved maybe 100 feet since we last spoke in the last 10 minutes. Not really anything good to report here other than the rain has let up a little bit. That's not the case, of course, in the metro area. That rain's still leading to many different accidents. I've seen at least a dozen. I can tell you that the Hero unit just passed me 5 minutes ago, had some difficulty getting through this traffic, and I watched another Hero unit and an ambulance going the opposite way, southbound on 285. So conditions are not good. This is not going to be a good commute for anyone. I advise everyone to leave a little bit earlier this morning. Pack your patience. That's a quick look from the Cool Ray Road Tracker. Back to you.
Thank you, Izmir. And we are in storm mode coverage, which continues right after this.
Welcome back. It is 644, 67 degrees. We are in storm mode and we're continuing our team coverage of the severe weather moving through our area. Take a look, a tree blocking a roadway here.
We want to go to Daniel Wilkerson. He is on Lithonia Industrial Boulevard. Daniel, what's the impact there?
You know what? It is quite the mess. We're actually on I-20 right now, right at Lithonia Industrial Boulevard. I am on the eastbound side, which all lanes are open here. But if we go over and we shoot across the way, you see the fire truck is there. A tree has come down. It is over the road. They are in the process of cutting it right now. As you've heard Rodney say all morning long, they are down to about 2 lanes. I'm seeing about 1 lane open on the westbound side right now. But you have crews out there working. I don't know how much you can see. They had a light on the tree just a minute ago, but I can see where they've cut the tree and they're working to get it out of the roadway right now. So if you have to come this way, you'll want to be careful. You can see the cars here in the lane where I am on the eastbound lane. They're going pretty fast. It is the interstate, but they seem to be going a little faster than what they should. See that 18-wheeler coming by now. I can tell you that we have seen a steady flow of rain. It is raining really, really hard. We came from Gwinnett County, and once we reach DeKalb County, you can really tell the difference. But again, if you're just joining us, this is I-20 East right at Lithonia Industrial Boulevard. A tree is over the road. Crews are working right now to remove that tree. On the eastbound side, they have it down to 1 lane open. So if you can come up with a alternative, you want to pay attention to Rodney's reports all morning long, because he will be giving you those alternatives to try to get around this mess. We're live in DeKalb County this morning. Daniel Wilkerson, CBS 46 News.
And this video just into our newsroom, shot by our very own reporter Adam Harding less than 30 minutes ago in Adairsville. Reported heavy rain, as you see there, strong winds and lightning. You can follow Adam on Twitter and keep up with the latest conditions on our social media. Download our free CBS 46 app and let us see your pictures as well. Hashtag 46 storm mode. Jen.
Very heavy rain, lots of lightning, and even possible rotation within some of these thunderstorms. We have been dissecting the radar all morning long, all three meteorologists we have here this morning, and it's a very fluid situation. So although you don't technically see a warning issued for your area, you need to be weather alert today. We're seeing some rotation in some of these storms, and then they dissipate pretty quickly, but certainly a possibility for this morning and as we head into the afternoon. On top of that, seeing very heavy rainfall, strong gusty winds, and tons of lightning as these storms continue to move through the area. So we're going to zoom on in here and show you where these storms are going. If we can get my clicker to go, there we go. Northern Carroll County as we head into Haralson County near Bremen. Very heavy rain, lots of lightning there. We did see some rotation just east of Bremen. Luckily, this is looking a lot better than it did about 10-15 minutes ago, but heading towards Villa Rica, very strong winds heading in that direction with lots of lightning, very heavy rain. Then as we head into northern Paulding County, western Cobb into Cherokee County, a brand new severe thunderstorm warning just issued literally live as I came on the air. Warning there for very heavy rain and the potential of winds up to 50 to 60 miles an hour. This storm heading east towards Ackworth and Woodstock towards Marietta. So northwestern Cobb, western Cherokee, Paulding County, Bartow County, a severe thunderstorm warning now issued for your area. As we head south, very heavy rain from Palmetto to central Hatchie, then through Conyers into southern Gwinnett County. Very heavy lightning, strong lightning into Winder. And then when you get a look at the wide view of this system, it is massive. The front still to our west as it moves through very slowly. It will continue to produce rain all morning long through the rest of the rush hour into the afternoon, and some rotation possible. A tornado watch in effect until 1 p.m. this afternoon. On top of that, flash flooding, a major concern. For more on that, we're going to head over to Fred. Fred, this storm system is huge.
It is, Jen, and I want to go to the radar on Max 2 here, because what we're looking at here, this is the velocity. We've been talking about this. We were just talking about it in the Weather Center, and you can see these really small little couplets that are showing up here, where you have green and red very close together, and this is the area that's now in a severe thunderstorm warning. So this includes Paulding County, of course, Cobb, Cherokee, Bartow County as well. But you see right around New Georgia, just south of 278, you see that there? Very, very small, and they come and go very quickly. This rotation may be slightly above the surface, so we may not be getting wind damage from this, but this is definitely something to watch, because if you get that rotation coming down toward the surface, that's when you can have these quick spin-up tornadoes. At this point, we haven't seen a whole lot in the way of wind damage from these storms, but that may just be because they're hitting late at night. The tornado watch remains in effect until 1 o'clock this afternoon. It is southwest of Atlanta. It includes Carroll County, and we're all included in this flash flood watch, which is until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning for 3 to 6 inches of rain. Our severe weather risk is actually the greatest south and east of Atlanta during the day today. Now, the bigger picture here, there's still a lot of time before we're done with this storm system, or it's done with us, because we have the thunderstorm threat continuing through this morning and then a rain threat by mid to late afternoon that will likely linger into this evening. So we're still looking at some locally heavy thunderstorms coming through midday hours. Notice how by later in the day, the heavy thunderstorm threat pushes off to the east, but there is still some rain to contend with, and that just adds insult to injury, because many places have already seen 1 to as much as 3 inches of rain up in Floyd County over the last 24 hours, and another 1 to 3 likely on the way for most spots. So here is your 7-day forecast, just to let you know what's coming our way. Today, of course, a real active weather day. It turns a lot colder for tomorrow. In fact, there may be some snow showers flying up in the mountains, probably will be. Could be some flurries in the northern suburbs of Atlanta tomorrow with a high temperature only around 45 degrees. Mainly dry this weekend before more rain comes in the early to middle part of next week. Here's Rodney. He's keeping an eye on the roadways, and it's just been a terrible morning commute.
Yeah, Fred, our traffic alert continues for those of you in DeKalb County. This is I-20 westbound. I want to get you some updated trip times here. Got a little bit better here. This is from Lithonia to downtown. Your trip time about 20 minutes. That's still longer than normal, but not as bad as it was 10 minutes ago. And then as you come out of Conyers, same story for you. This is I-20 west toward Atlanta. We were looking at an hour and a half 10 minutes ago. Now that's gone down just a little bit, but again, way longer than normal. So make sure and give yourself extra time as you head to work coming out of DeKalb County. The reason for this is because of that tree that's down that Daniel was showing you, I-20 westbound at Lithonia Industrial Boulevard. You can see that orange that indicates where your traffic is super slow. We also have 285 northbound, had a major crash there earlier. CBS 46's Izmir Payton is in the road tracker with an update on what's going on that side of town. That's that blue dot you saw. Izmir, looks like there's not much improvement there.
Yeah, good morning, Rodney. Bad commute. This is not anything good. Nothing good is coming out of this right now. I put it in park. I'm at 285 northbound right at Hollowell Road here, and this is terrible. I put in park. We're not moving. I've seen commuters next to me pull out their cell phones. No worry about getting a ticket because nobody's going to see you in this standstill traffic. Not a good commute this morning. That's a quick look from the Coolray Road Tracker. Back to you.
Izmir says he's in park on the interstate in Atlanta this morning. That's how bad our traffic is. So again, give yourself some time. This is I-20 eastbound at Riverside. Your traffic moving slow out of Douglas County, out of South Cobb County because of a crash there. We're going to keep you up to date on this with more weather and traffic in under 10 minutes.
Yeah, park is not where you want to be on the highway. All right, Rodney, thanks. CBS 46 staying in storm mode this morning. Here's a live look at the CBS 46 pinpoint radar. Our crews are tracking conditions out there on the roads. We want to know what you're seeing in your area, so send us your photos, your videos if you can. Hashtag CBS 46 storm mode. We'll be right back.
It's 6 minutes before the top of the hour. Breaking news right now. A tree is blocking the roadway. This is across a busy I-20.
We want to check in with CBS 46's Daniel Wilkerson. He is live along Interstate 20 at Lithonia Industrial Boulevard. Daniel.
I tell you, quite the mess out here. That tree is actually over 20 west right now. We're standing on the opposite side on 20 east, but again, this is I-20 westbound, right at Panola Road, between Panola Road and Lithonia Industrial Boulevard. it's down to one lane here. And so at all costs, if you can, you'll want to avoid the area.
All right, here are your trip times. Breaking traffic alert continues as you come out of Lithonia this morning from where Daniel was. From Lithonia to Atlanta, you're looking at a trip time of just under 30 minutes. And then as you go westbound out of Conyers, you're looking at an hour and a half. That is because of that tree that's on the road. Also 285 northbound, this is around Hollywood Parkway where CBS 46's Izmir Payton is in the road tracker. You can see his traffic has actually gotten a little bit better, but make sure and give yourself some extra time this morning.
And we are watching a nasty thunderstorm over Paulding County right now, possible rotation within the severe thunderstorm warning. So we're going to show you exactly where it's located, again, in Paulding County, heading into Cherokee County and Cobb County with possible rotation, lots of lightning, very heavy downpours over the area. And I want to zoom this in and show you exactly where this is and what this is doing for our area here, because again, possible rotation over the area heading into Paulding County. We're having Fred work on this. We can zoom on in. There we go. And zoom on in one more time there. That's where you can see some possible rotation over Dallas. We've been watching these little spin-ups very closely, but certainly if you're in Dallas, even though technically not a tornado warning, I would definitely go to the lowest level of your floor, basement, first floor. I mean, this is what we look like on radar. And Fred, that looks like rotation to us.
Yeah, it's right near 278. We've been watching these little indicators that there could be some rotation within any of these storms this morning. And that is probably the best that we've seen, the most impressive that we've seen all morning long. So we're going to watch that very, very closely. Our updates during CBS this morning, they will be live. Of course, if there is a tornado warning issued, we will be live on the air covering it the entire time. And then there's the flash flooding concern, which is just now moving in.
All very
Heavy
close
rain
to Metro
all day.
Atlanta, and we are in Severe Weather Awareness Week, so please stay with us all morning.
This is your CBS 46 News Flash Briefing, brought to you by West Shore Home.
Good Thursday morning. I'm Karen Greer. We're going to begin with a crime alert from Gwinnett County. The search is on for a shooting suspect after a murder in Duluth overnight. Officers believe someone shot the male victim at the Shell station. This is on Pleasant Hill Road, and then he drove himself to a nearby apartment complex where officers found him dead in his car. If you know anything about this, call Crime Stoppers 404-577-TIPS. An update now on a Spalding County commissioner arrested after allegedly opening fire on deputies. Don Hawbaker remains behind.
Family, it's Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez. We have 3 meteorologists in house as this massive system makes its way through North Georgia. We've been talking about this since last week. It is now here and it is making a mess of the morning commute. Certainly you do not want to be driving in this. We're going to get you through it. We're going to talk about what's happening. We're going to talk about how long it's going to last and what it means for your Thursday and even your Friday. So stay with us here on Facebook Live. We may do a brief interruption here and there to go live on CBS 46 because we have periodic cut-ins throughout the morning. But let's show you what's happening here. Here's a look at CBS 46 pinpoint radar. It's easy to see it's lit up. We're seeing a tremendous amount of lightning, but on top of that, we're seeing very heavy rain. And we've already seen heavy rain, and we have more on the way. Here's a look at radar estimated rainfall totals. Northwestern Georgia especially has already seen 2+ inches of rain. And then these little pockets of orange have already seen up to 2 inches of rain, which is already a lot of rain. Now we're going to add an additional 2 to 4 inches in some cases on top of that. So we've got more on the way. And because of that, flash flooding is going to be a huge concern, not only right now, but as we head through the rest of the morning and into the afternoon. We do have one severe thunderstorm warning still in place for DeKalb, Forsyth, Fulton, and Gwinnett County. Winds up to, if not exceeding 60 miles an hour within this thunderstorm. Right now, pretty much over Gwinnett County, heading east right over 985 and I-85. Blinding rain right now. This is not something you want to be driving in. On top of the blinding rain, we have all that lightning and we have winds of 60 miles an hour heading east towards Lawrenceville. So western Lawrenceville seeing it right now. That will continue to head east through Lawrenceville and right along 85 and 985. Heading into the metro, no warnings right now for Metro Atlanta, at least for South Fulton County or South DeKalb County, but still seeing lots of rain, lots of lightning, very heavy downpours heading towards Stone Mountain right now. Conyers picking up on that heavy rainfall as well. And then this is massive. This is that big batch of storms we've been watching over Alabama has now made its way into Georgia. Tremendous amount of lightning with this. Not only that, pouring down rain and strong gusty winds. When you look at the radar and you see that red and that green virtually touching very close together, that's a really good indicator of very strong winds. So very strong winds, blinding rain. This is moving over Haralson, almost the entire Haralson County getting pounded right now. Western Paulding County getting hammered right now. And this continues to move to the northeast. So this is heading into Cobb County, Paulding County, Bartow County, Cherokee County. You're going to get hit very hard here in the next 20 minutes or so with blinding rain and tons of lightning. The rain is the other issue. So we've got winds, we have lightning. The rain has been an issue all morning long. That will continue to be the case. All of these green boxes, pretty much all of far north Georgia, under some kind of flood warning or flash flood warning for flooding happening or flooding is about to happen. The soil already saturated from all the rain we've already seen, and now we're getting additional rainfall on top of everything we've already had, and that is going to cause some massive flooding issues. South of the city, we haven't picked up as much rain, but still seeing thunderstorms in Peachtree City right now, Griffin, Troup County, LaGrange, and Coweta, Meriwether County, Spalding County. picking up some bits of heavy rain over that area as well. My biggest concern on top of that severe weather threat is the flooding. I think flooding is going to be a big problem. We're already seeing reports of road closures, damage, street issues, and I think because this is just the beginning and we still have a lot more rain to go, we're going to start to see things get very bad, or at least worsen pretty quickly. And that's how a flash flooding situation is. You're fine until you're not. And this is very important because a lot of you are hitting the roads right now. You're driving and you think you know the area very well, and chances are you do, but you're going to see water on some of these roadways. You can't tell how deep it is. And many times, more often than not, people try to drive through these roads. We see it all the time. And we always say, turn around, don't drown. You do not want to drive through any flooding or ponding on the roadways when you can't tell how deep the water is. It's just not worth it. You need to turn around, don't drown. Flooding is going to be a concern for the entire viewing area as we head through the morning. And we're getting lots of storm reports. Fred's watching that closely. Fred, we're getting reports of closed schools. We have reports of road closures, all kinds of things going on across North Georgia. What are you seeing on the chat right now?
Yeah, there's an awful lot going on right now, Jen. And on the chat, a few things to note. Austell and Cobb County, there's reports of some flooding that is across Carroll Drive. There is also the flash flood warning that you mentioned, but you get up into Fannin County under the flash flood warning, flooded roadway right now in the Dial area at Dial Road and the Silver Fox Trail. In Cherokee County, there have been reports of several trees down. And then up in Gordon County, they are checking it out. We sent Adam Harding out to check this out near Plainview Road. Severe structural damage to a home. So investigating that for some pretty significant wind damage, possibly tornado damage. Not too sure about that. So that's about where it stands right now, Jen, as we continue with, and actually right now we have a tornado warning to talk about.
Let's go on the air.
That is in Barrow, Gwinnett County. So that's that severe thunderstorm. Let's see if we can go back to that. Rodney, you want to step in here and get that lined up on Max 1 there. Yeah, so Jen, it just came in. It's radar indicated tornado warning.
So let's get control room. You are watching this live. Are we on the air right now? We're about to go live. We are in storm mode here, CBS 46. We were doing a Facebook Live, and just like that, tornado warning popped up for Barrow, Gwinnett, Hall, and Jackson counties. This is until 8:45 this morning for possible rotation. This line of storms we've been watching all morning. We've seen quick rotation. They've had a history of producing possible tornadoes, and now we have a tornado warning. Again, possible tornado near the Sugar Hill, Lawrenceville area in Gwinnett County. We're going to try to spot exactly where this tornado is here as we this is all breaking here on the air live as we were doing a Facebook Live here near Sugar Hill, Brazelton, heading towards Gainesville and Commerce, looking for some possible rotation on radar. Mountain Park.
So it's going to be down on the, there you go. You can see it right in there.
Very easy to spot here. So just north of Mountain Park, west of Snellville, heading towards the northeast, towards Lawrenceville. And Fred, is this a radar indicated tornado?
It is a radar indicated tornado. So no confirmation of a tornado on the ground, but the tornado warning in effect until that is in effect until 8:45 this morning.
Till 8:45 this morning. So tornado warnings means a tornado is very possible, if not imminent. It is radar indicated, but this time of year they are almost always radar indicated. It's very hard to see a tornado in Georgia, especially in this kind of situation where we have extremely heavy rain. These tornadoes are rain wrapped, so you cannot physically see them. If you are in the Mountain Park area, especially Snellville, Lawrenceville, this is the time you need to take cover. This is a warning, possible tornado on the ground, lowest level of your home, basement preferable, away from any windows. So bathrooms are good, closets are good. Take cover right now. You're probably hearing the sirens through Gwinnett County here for possible tornado on the ground. Gloucester, Lawrenceville, heading towards Decula at 8:30. This system is moving very quickly, this particular cell to the northeast at about 55 to 60 miles an hour. Very easy to see where this possible rotation is. You look at the red and the green, and when they couple up like that and they twist, that shows the rotation rotation in the atmosphere. Gloucester right now, possible tornado right along Highway 29. Take cover, Highway 29, Gwinnett County. We do have a tornado warning for you. This storm moving very quickly to the northeast, and watching these radar scans here, definitely some rotation possible. Fred, what kind of information are we getting on the chat? Any confirmation at all?
No confirmation yet. It's still radar indicated, and we can still clearly see that rotation there. It's not as strong as you can see in that latest update, but it is still there. And as you mentioned, right around the Gloucester area, it looks like Highway 29. So this is heading in the very general direction of Lawrenceville. So you need to be well aware that there is a potentially very dangerous storm system on the way for you. You are dealing with rain right now, but there may be a tornado embedded in that rain, that tornado warning in effect. So I'm going to keep a close eye on the chat, Jen, but
yes,
right
please.
now, no confirmation of a tornado on the ground.
And we've seen this all morning long, and this system as a whole has a history of these quick spin ups. So we've been watching the radar, and all of a sudden on the radar, you'll see what looks like a tornado, and we go on high alert. We talk about the possibility of a tornado, and then 5 minutes later, it's gone. So that's the kind of situation we've been in all morning. So I would not be surprised if this is a quick spin up, but certainly even a quick spin up can do a lot of damage very quickly. This is moving over Highway 29 right now, heading straight towards Lawrenceville. So this is just south of Pleasant Hill, just south of I-85, right over Lawrenceville, north of Grayson, just to get your bearings on exactly where this is located. Moving quickly to the northeast at about 55 miles an hour. So Lawrenceville, 823. And it's looking better and better with each scan, but still seeing some rotation there. 823 towards Lawrenceville, towards New Hope at 8:27 a.m. through Gwinnett County, where we do have a tornado warning in place right now for Gwinnett County. This tornado warning continues through 8:45, Fred? It was 8:45?
So 8:45, yeah.
8:45. So, Ron, if you can do me a favor, let's go to street level mapping. Let's show exactly where this is. So if you live in this area, you can see. So this is near Arnold Road, Five Forks, Trickham Road. You know that area very well. Patterson Road, near Huff Drive, right over Gloucester. That's where we have possible rotation on the ground right now in the city of Lawrenceville, heading very close to Lawrenceville, just on the southwest end side of the city. So Five Forks, Trickham Road, Patterson Road, Sugarloaf Parkway. This is near the outlets, near the medieval times there. Definite possible rotation here on the radar. And this storm, even if it does not have rotation, we're looking at winds of 60 miles an hour, blinding rain, lots of lightning. This is just something you don't want to play with. So this is moving to the northeast here fairly quickly, 55 miles an hour. And because there's enough rotation on radar, there is a tornado warning in place. And we talk about these storms all the time. They're rain wrapped. We live in the South. We don't see those tornadoes in the distance like they do in Oklahoma, Nebraska. They're rain wrapped. They're very difficult to see. So you don't want to wait until you see a tornado to take action. We depend very heavily on radar here in the Southeast, especially in Georgia. It's our eyes, it's our ears, it's how we know what's going on in the ground, because with the heavy rain, you physically cannot see these tornadoes. So Lawrenceville, please take cover. I cannot stress enough how dangerous this situation could be, especially over a very populated area like Lawrenceville. And a lot of you are on the roads right now. I know kids are getting into school right now. You want to take cover, go to the basement, the lowest level of your home. This is a very serious situation for Gwinnett County, specifically heading towards Lawrenceville and Decula for a possible tornado on the ground. This is radar indicated, no confirmation, but a lot of times, because we cannot physically see these tornadoes, we don't know it's a tornado until after the fact. So you don't want to wait until this is a confirmed tornado to take cover. You want to take cover now. Stay safe, protect your family, get to the lowest level of your home, especially if you are in Lawrenceville or just east of Gloucester for possible rotation just southwest of Lawrenceville. Fred, we're going to take it to you, see what kind of information you're getting right now.
Okay, so right now, still no confirmation of that tornado, but we're also watching possible tornado, Penny and Gwinnett heading toward Barrow. So if we can widen the view just a little bit there, Rodney, and a little bit more, and I think possibly if we go see up to the north there, you can see a little more rotation showing up there. So that's definitely something that we're watching as well. That circulation there, also you're also in the tornado warning there, but that is a different circulation, and that's what we've been looking at all morning long, is just these very small indications on the radar that there is some circulation showing up there, and that's That's the one that we're watching. In addition to what spawned the tornado warning, which is down, as you can see, right near Lawrenceville right now. It is small, but we have seen damage in other parts of Georgia. We told you earlier on our Facebook Live about damage that they are checking out in Gordon County from much earlier this morning that was near Plainview Road, East Plainview Road, severe structural damage there. So even though there hasn't been to this point widespread wind damage like we saw back with that January outbreak, there is the potential for tornadoes. And as you can see, that rotation, when we do loop that radar, you can see that it is moving very quickly to the northeast.
I mean, we're talking about 50. Imagine being in a vehicle going 60 miles an hour. That's how fast these storms are moving. So we continuously put these storm tracks and give you these times because they move very fast. A lot of times you don't have a lot of time before they head in your direction. Luckily, the rotation we've seen thus far this morning, they've weakened fairly quickly. So if they do touch down, usually it's not for a long period of time, but certainly this one, possible rotation. In fact, this one looks a little more organized to me than the one just south of it near Lawrenceville. This is heading towards Tander Mill at 8:27, Talamo at 8:31, Pendergrass at 8:34 a.m. And Rodney, you're raising your hand. Do you have some new information?
Yeah, I also wanted to point out just with both of these rotations, Jen, as you mentioned, you were describing how we're seeing the rotation with the green and the red that comes close together. Another thing I've noticed by watching this radar, just another reminder, even if you don't have a tornado, there have been times where these reds have gotten really bright. The brighter that red, the stronger the wind. So you could also see wind damage just because of those bright reds. So when you're looking at this radar, watch for those super bright reds that pop up. This one has gone away over the past couple of minutes, but the one further to the northeast where you see that really bright red, you could also see some pretty gusty winds.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of people think most of the damage we see has to be a tornado. Straight line winds of 60 miles an hour, that's enough to cause damage. So tornado is obviously very dangerous, but straight line winds very dangerous as well, especially downbursts that we tend to see with these systems. Watching this one very closely, possible rotation on the radar. Again, this is on the northern, and it almost looks like it's crossing out of the warning area here. So if you are in southern Hall County, right now Hall County, you are not really included in this tornado warning, but if you're near Chestnut Mountain in southern Hall County, I would take cover as well because this does not look good on radar, and this storm system has a history of producing these quick spin-ups, and definitely a good idea to take cover. So southern Hall County, Gwinnett County, two particular areas of rotation we're watching very closely here at CBS 46 for a possible tornado. Nothing has been confirmed, but certainly seeing some rotation. Back to the one in Lawrenceville, still seeing some rotation here. Does look a little better than it did about 5 minutes ago, but if you're traveling on Highway 29, don't. It's probably too late at this point if you are, but certainly this is not something you want to be driving through. Look at this, Gwinnett Drive into Davis Road, possible tornado in that area. And these, again, as we say, are rain wrapped. You cannot physically see them. So you really need to depend on this radar to give you your information and get safe. This storm traveling very fast towards Decula at 8:29, Auburn at 8:34, towards Winder at 8:40. Possible tornado here on the ground. Radar indicated tornado. Lowest level of your home. If you have a basement, go to your basement, and then you want to be away from any windows. So closets are a good idea, or some bathrooms with smaller windows. If you don't have a closet without a window, that's going to be your best bet. Tornado warning does continue until 8:45 this morning. So we've got about another 15 to 20 minutes of this warning. But honestly, I would not be surprised if maybe they extend this a little further. And actually they did. So Hall County now, thank you, Rodney. Hall County looks like they've extended this a little further north. Is that right? There we go. Have they extended into more areas? Or am I playing tricks on me?
So they continued it. Well, they continued it anyway. It is until 8:45 this morning. So it has just been continued. Still radar indicated. Still looking at a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. It's moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. So that's a continuation of the current tornado warning that we have in place at this point, Jen.
Yeah, definitely. This one's starting to weaken a little bit in Lawrenceville, but definitely still seeing some rotation on the radar. And this is right over Lawrenceville. Huge, large city, very highly populated, a lot of things in Lawrenceville, right over 29 here. So if you are in Lawrenceville, take cover. If you're in Decula, take cover. This storm is moving at 55 miles an hour. So it's moving very quickly to the northeast to get you on the ground here. You can see exactly where this is. So here's the possible tornado. This is where it's going. So near Providence Run southeast, Amelia Grove Lane, if you know that area, near Hosea Road, Rhodes Jordan Park Pool. That is the area that this tornado is heading to very quickly to the northeast at 55 miles an hour. So we've got a lot going on this morning. We've got possible tornadoes. We've got flooding across almost all of North Georgia. We've got a tremendous amount of lightning. We've got flooded roads. So this is just not the kind of day you want to be out and about in. If you can work from home, this is the day to do it. You don't want to be driving through this mess, especially with possible tornadoes on the ground. So let's see these storms, 30,000 up to 40,000 feet. The taller the storm, the stronger the storm. So certainly we've been seeing this all morning, up to 40,000 feet. That's incredibly tall here. It shows the power, the rain, the force, the winds that come associated with this system. And it's been affecting all of North Georgia. We've been watching these areas of possible rotation throughout the entire morning. And the lightning in and of itself has been crazy. And it's moving in from Alabama here into Carroll County, Haralson County, Douglas County, Paulding County, seeing very heavy rainfall, lots of electricity. This is a nightmare to be driving in. You can't even see where you're going. Your windshield wipers are on high. You can't see. The visibility is non-existent. Look at that, more than 1,000 lightning strikes within the past 15 minutes. So this storm is very electrical. Heading back to that tornado warning, we're going to toss it over to Fred. Fred, let me know what you're seeing. Any new information?
No new information coming in. Still radar indicated, so still no confirmation that there's a tornado on the ground, but definitely something to watch. And that is right at the edge of the tornado watch area. If you were with us earlier this morning, Atlanta was not in the tornado watch. We do want you to know, though, that Atlanta is included now in a tornado watch until 1 o'clock this afternoon. So you see how it is expanded, and the areas that are filled in red, that's the tornado watch. But then you have that red box that juts out of the watch. That's our tornado warning area right now, which comes out of Gwinnett and moves off to the east into Hall and Jackson and Barrow County. So this is a scenario where there's no confirmation of the tornado, but the radar is certainly indicating enough rotation to warrant the tornado warning.
Yeah, definitely. And we've been seeing several of these. We've been tracking these from Alabama since the overnight hours, and we've seen these quick bouts of rotation, and usually they would weaken pretty quickly. But certainly these have been holding on a little longer than we'd like to see, and certainly a little longer than we saw earlier. And we're looking for it now here, some possible rotation. Things do look like they're improving a bit, but certainly something we're watching for very closely. And again, you can't see tornadoes in this kind of environment. They're rain wrapped. You can't physically see them. That's why a lot of times you hear after the fact when we interview those who have been affected by these tornadoes, they say it sounded like a freight train. You know, I couldn't see anything. That's the thing. You can't see anything. You hear it, but you can't see it. So you really need to depend on the radar, and you need to depend on Rodney and Fred and myself to let you know exactly what's happening, where it's happening, and where it's going, so you can plan your morning and get through the day ahead. But really, today is just a terrible weather day. Certainly tornadoes probably the last thing we need, and we're looking for possible rotation. Things looking better, Fred.
Looking a little bit better, and also getting northeast of Lawrenceville now as we look at it up into the Decula area. So that's just an indication of how fast this is moving. We've only been on the air with this tornado warning for about 15 minutes at this point, and it is just rolling right along. Now, our hope is that this is all aloft, just slightly off of the surface, and that the strong winds and the circulation from this tornado not reaching the ground, that it's more of a funnel cloud situation. But yes, Rodney.
Yeah, I just want to point out too, you can see, so I was trying to actually find the rotation. This is an earlier snapshot. Notice, Jen and Fred, what happens as we go to the current shot. That almost completely goes away.
It's definitely, we're definitely losing it. That's good. As it continues off to the north. So there you can see. But also, Rodney, do want to point out those darker and brighter colors there, showing that even though there may not be circulation associated with a tornado, we could be looking at some strong straight line winds.
Yeah, 60 mile an hour. And that's why they always send the survey crew, the National Weather Service, the day after or later in the day to assess the damage, because a lot of times the damage is very similar. You can have a heavily damaged home or structure, and it could be straight line winds. When you have 60-mile-an-hour winds, doesn't matter if it's in a circular direction or straight, it can cause the same amount of damage. So certainly this storm is very powerful, and whether there's a confirmed tornado or not, the damage could be very real from this system, especially moving through an area like Lawrenceville that has so many homes and structures and businesses and so many people on the road right now. Does look like that storm, the particular cell over the Lawrenceville area, has weakened tremendously. So things looking much better as far as the tornado being involved in that area. Doesn't look like that's the case any longer. Doesn't mean there wasn't one earlier, but it does look much better for the Lawrenceville area. But within that cell, it's still very powerful. We're seeing blinding rain. We're seeing lots of lightning and strong winds up to 60, if not exceeding 60 miles an hour. That storm heading towards Decula at 8:35, Auburn at 8:39, towards Winder at 8:46. And Rodney, can we go back to that second area of rotation we were watching? Let's see if that's weakened, because we had that other area that showed possible rotation in the atmosphere. Let's see if that one's weakened as well. Can we even see it anymore?
It is very difficult to see,
looks like that's
Jen,
as well.
and it's, I mean, everything is just moving so quickly off to the northeast. Really hard to tell on that one. Now, there hasn't been a tornado warning issued up in that area, so that's a little bit of good news for us. But there you can see it, and actually it looks like just before.
Go back, you could see it just north of the warning area in southern Hall County. See that? And watch how it just kind of
hopefully dissipates.
It dissipates. So that's very good news. So it does look like, as far as any current rotation, things are looking very promising to me on radar. But again, even without the rotation, we're talking about a very strong thunderstorm. And just as quickly as those tornadoes or possible tornadoes popped up, they can easily repop. And that's why you have 3 meteorologists here today, and we've been dissecting this radar all night long, all morning long, because this system is a very complicated system, and these pop-ups happen very quickly. And you can look at the radar 1 minute and there's no rotation. 2 minutes later, there's rotation. So this is something really that's a very fluid situation, as you've seen through the morning. We were in the middle of a Facebook Live when this tornado warning popped up. This storm heading towards Gillsville at 8:43, Maysville at 8:45, towards Homer at 8:51. Again, this is in the Gwinnett County area for a very strong thunderstorm, and that's even in Hall County, just south of Gainesville, just south and east of Lake Lanier, heading to the northeast towards Homer. So a lot of rain here. When you look at the broader perspective, so everything in a green box. So this, basically, there we go. That is all under some kind of either flood warning or flash flood warning. So almost the entire North Georgia under some kind of flooding happening now. So as you're driving into work, if you know those driving, you really need to take precaution. Turn around, don't drown. You do not want to drive through flooded roads at all. If you can't tell how deep the water is, turn around, don't try to drive through it. Flash flood warnings, basically everybody. Bartow, Carroll, Cherokee, Cobb, DeKalb, Douglas, Floyd, Forsyth, Fulton, Gordon, Gwinnett, Harrelson, Paulding, Pickens, Polk, all under a flash flood warning. And really, this is going to be for the foreseeable future because we have more rain on the way. Rodney, put that radar back on and then show the lightning and just how incredibly potent this system is. That's all the heavy rain moving through. Now look at all the lightning on top of that. This is going to be very messy, and it's not just in the immediate. This is going to really follow us through the rest of the morning and into the afternoon. If you've ever been in a flooding situation, you know, things just get worse and they snowball. And that's the problem. Already seeing the heavy rain, the soil is saturated, and it's like pouring a glass of water on a piece of cardboard. The water just kind of disperses. It cannot be absorbed into the soil. The soil is completely saturated. So any water, any rain falling right now is dispersing almost immediately, going into the creeks, the storm drains, the streams, and it causes runoff almost immediately. We're going to head over to Fred. You have some new information.
Yeah, Jen, just want to let everyone know that the tornado warning has been canceled for Gwinnett and for Hall County, but it continues for about another 8 minutes in Barrow and in Jackson. Jackson County. So that is what Rodney is checking out right now on the radar. So again, if you live in Gwinnett County, if you live in Hall County, you're out of the woods for now as far as that tornado warning is concerned. But if you're in Barrow, Jackson County, you are still parts of those counties under a tornado warning for the next, again, less than 10 minutes. And the rotation has not looked nearly as impressive on the radar as it did about 15 or 20 minutes ago. And Jen, you were talking about the flash flood warning. It's not often that you see a flash flood warning that is in effect for 6 hours. This is in effect until 2 o'clock this afternoon. And the Weather Service, the reasoning behind it was just getting out ahead of that incredibly heavy line of rain and thunderstorms that is moving through the western part of Georgia and ever so slowly closing in on the perimeter in the Atlanta metro area. So there's already been in most places over an inch of rain in the last 24 hours, and there's probably another 1 to 3 at least coming for many spots during these morning hours. And flash flooding was the main concern going in, but now we've had a couple of these tornado warnings pop up, and that's why we're on the air for you here to let you know about that tornado warning, as well as just looking at the radar estimated rain right there, Jen. You can see just it's over 2-3 inches in many spots already.
And it's crazy. And it's been a very wet January. It's been an incredibly wet January. So we were kind of on the losing end of this scenario to begin with before it even began. And now we had so much rain in such a short period of time. Again, the soil is saturated. It cannot absorb any water. It turns into runoff. And that's why you see the problems, especially on the roads, driving, and in the metro. Because as you know, Atlanta's a concrete jungle. We've got a lot of cement, and all of that runoff goes immediately into those storm drains and the creeks and streams. And you see that water accumulate very quickly. 3 inches of rain just north of Lithonia, just north of I-20. And we are expecting another possible 2 to 4 inches in some areas. So this really could have a disastrous effect on those areas that are flood prone or that get most of the rain for today. We could see major problems develop through the morning and into the afternoon. Do you want to update you on that tornado warning? Although Gwinnett County has been removed from that warning, it does still include Barrow and Jackson County. This is until 8:45, so another 5 minutes. And we talked about how the rotation has weakened, but the Weather Service tends to keep these warnings in place because if a storm produces a tornado, it can quickly reproduce a tornado. It can lift up in the upper levels of the atmosphere, but it can just as quickly come back down to the surface. So I'm not seeing any rotation here on the radar. This is very promising to me. That's why we kept dissecting it and showing you the different colors here. We're doing it live on the air, dissecting these storms to give you the very latest information.
It is hard to see, Jen. Yeah, it's hard to see.
Yeah.
And if it would be right around Auburn right now, just south of Brazelton. And it's not very impressive on the radar. So that's a little bit of good news, but there is still some rotation that can be seen depending on exactly what mode it's in. So really need to just watch this here. I have the feeling that they will let this tornado warning expire at 8:45. It has not been extended farther to the east, which is good news. Sometimes when you just see them keep getting extended farther to the east, you know that it's a definite cause for big concern. But in this case, in the Brazelton area, you are getting torrential rain right now. I'm sure you're getting some lightning as well, and there is a little bit of rotation being detected by the radar, enough to continue this tornado warning for about another 3 minutes. So we should know 3 minutes from now as to whether the National Weather Service feels that, like we have felt, that the rotation with this storm is starting to come down considerably.
Yeah, definitely. If you're in Pendergrass, Holders, Dry Pond, this storm, again, regardless if it has a tornado or not, is incredibly strong and potent. We've got 60-mile-an-hour winds, very heavy rain. You do need to take cover. Lowest level of your home, basement is preferable. A room without any windows. When we say warning, it means take cover. Watch means be on the lookout, and we've been under that watch all morning. Warning means you need to take action, you need to take cover, you need to protect yourself and your loved ones, because as you've seen, unfortunately, we covered these situations and you see the aftermath on the news all the time. It can happen to anybody, it can happen anywhere, and our number one priority is to keep you safe. So showing you where this possible rotation is, it's right over West Jackson Elementary School. And that's a scary thing to think about, that a possible tornado in Brazelton here, really close to an elementary school. Luckily, the rotation doesn't look super impressive, but West Jackson Elementary School, those neighborhoods, those roads around that elementary school, a possible rotation. This is right over Brazelton, just south of I-85, moving very quickly towards Holders and Dry Pond. But again, this warning is set to expire in 2 minutes. The fact that it has not been extended into Commerce is very promising. Looking at the different radar scans and dissecting the radar, it does look like the rotation is very minimal at best, especially compared to where it was when we showed you those greens and those reds really hugging each other. Not really seeing that anymore, but certainly could still see a little bit of rotation here heading towards Holders. Does it look like they're going to extend this warning at all, Fred?
We should know in a couple of minutes, but they have just issued a flood warning for that in that general area. It's for Brushy Fork Creek, which is near Loganville. So again, it's a combination of so many factors this morning. It's not just the severe weather threat, it's the flash flood threat as well. And the rivers and creeks and streams in North Georgia, they are primed already and running high because of the rain that we've seen so far in 2020. And now here we are picking up basically about a month's worth of rain in just a couple of days. So those creeks continue to rise, and there's a flood warning around Brushy Fork Creek, which is in Loganville, Georgia. But we should know very soon here about this tornado warning. You can see that it is still in effect. And what we're looking at right now on your screen, that's an estimate of the rainfall that we've seen. Rodney?
So yeah, I'm going to remove this tornado warning briefly. Just this is me removing it. I want to see how much rain has fallen in that yellow spot that we're looking at. So just so you know, the warning is still in effect, but there is the accumulation, just FYI for it.
Couple of inches.
2 inches.
And that's all come probably this morning. And other places have seen upwards now of 3 inches of rain since yesterday. And there is so much more to come. I think that the worst, if you're watching us from anywhere around the perimeter or inside the perimeter, the worst weather may be yet to come in the next couple of hours when you look at the big picture here on this radar, Jen.
And the warning has expired, so no tornado warning. But I just want to stay on there just for a few more minutes because I want to stress what's happening as far as the rainfall. A lot of times you hear tornado warning and your eyes, your ears, you perk up and you start to become concerned. But flooding can be just as devastating. Flooding can be treacherous, and I'm really concerned about the flooding potential and the flooding threat as we head into the late morning and early afternoon. This situation can get really bad really fast, especially with the rain that is yet to come. The front that's causing all this is moving incredibly slow, and because of that, the heavy rain you've already experienced will continue to move over the area for hours. This is not ending in 10 minutes. This is not ending in 30 minutes. This will continue through the early afternoon, and just 2 feet of water can float and carry away a vehicle. And if you've ever seen a flooding situation, it happens fast. It goes from 2 inches of flooding to 6 inches of flooding, and it just quickly escalates because that runoff just becomes amplified. Flash flood watch is in effect. That's through tomorrow morning. That's how long this flash flood threat is going to be an issue for us here in Atlanta. 2 to 5 inches on top of some of the rain we've already seen. So almost all of North Georgia under a flash flood watch. This is moving through the metro area. Cherokee County, Bartow County, Pickens County, Carroll County, Haralson County, you are getting nailed right now with blinding rain, strong gusty winds, and an incredible amount of lightning. Please be careful. Please be safe. We're going to continue on Facebook Live. Please join us there. We're going to stay up to date with this information to keep you and your family safe. Another update coming up momentarily.
Daniel Wilkerson.